Esteemed faculty members, honorable guests, and dear participants, it is indeed a moment of pride and joy as we gather here for the valedictory session of this enriching program. As we reflect upon the success of today's proceedings, let us remember the words of John Dewey. Education is not preparation for life, education is life itself. This gathering exemplifies how education brings us together, empowering us to build a better tomorrow. To formally begin the session, I now invite Mrs. B. Mary Shiba and Dean and Assistant Professor of English to deliver the welcome address.
Good afternoon, all present here. Respected Chief Guest, esteemed dignitaries, valued guests, dear colleagues and students. It is my privilege to extend a warm and hearty welcome to all of you as we gather here for the valedictory ceremony of this international seminar. Today marks a culmination of what has been an insightful and inspiring journey over the past years. This event has brought together brilliant minds, thought leaders, and passionate individuals who have shared their expertise, ideas, and experiences, leaving us with much to ponder and act upon. The success of this seminar would not have been possible without the active participation and enthusiasm of each one of you. We are truly honored to have Dr. Pranesh Kumar, Professor of English, Stella Maris College of Engineering, Kanyakumari, with us today as our Chief Guest. Your presence here is a testament to the importance of this gathering and a source of great motivation for all of us. Welcome you, sir. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Chitra, Assistant Professor of English, Royal College of Bhutan, for the valedictory address. With immense pleasure, I welcome our beloved HOD, Dr. Patricia Alfie Nirmala, Associate Professor of English. Welcome, ma'am. Much delighted, I welcome the Organizing Secretary of this international seminar, Mrs. Monica, and our faculty members and participants from various colleges for this valedictory function. Welcome. As we move forward with the proceedings of this valedictory function, let us take the moment to reflect on the knowledge we have gained and the relationship we have fostered during this time. Once again, I extend my heartfelt welcome to all of you. Let us make this concluding session as memorable and inspiring one. Welcome all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your gracious words of welcome. We have a special moment to honor our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Chitra, Assistant Professor and Program Leader, Royal University of Bhutan, for her invaluable contribution to this program. I now humbly invite Dr. R. Pranesh Kumar, Professor of English, Department of Science and Humanities, Stella Maris College of Engineering, Kanyakumari, to present the certificate of appreciation to Dr. Chitra. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I request the guest speaker, Dr. Pranesh Kumar, Professor of English, Stella Maris College of Engineering, Kanyakumari. Sir is here to transfer his ideas on the title, Crafting Pace Through Words for Better Society.
Respected dignitaries, the head of the department, the organizers of this event, faculty members, and my dear students. Let me begin with a quote. The planet does not need more successful people, but the planet desperately needs healers, peacemakers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of all kinds. A quote by Dalai Lama. I was thinking I should begin with a strong quote which would be equally related to the topic, and I think this will suit. Recently I published a collection of my storybooks, and the front page carries this particular quote. And as a habitual action, since I am specialized in language, and moreover I want the session to be highly interactive, let me begin by asking you a simple question. Since majority of you, I believe, are from English literature background, how many alphabets are there in English? How many alphabets are there in English? Louder, again, louder. 20? 26. Who said 1? Why 1? Why 1? I know you don't answer. She's right. You're a big round of applause. It's 1 because, yeah, ma'am, probably ma'am sharing with you. It's 1 because alphabet is a set of letters used to interpret any particular language, and when it comes to English, what we have is one particular set, A to Z. And for people who interpret it as 26, when I was so this is a funny question, a funny follow-up question. When I was a kid, when I went to school, we had only 25 letters in the alphabet. Nobody knew why. What must be the reason?
Why? Nobody knew why.
Yeah, that's because nobody knew why. Now you know why, and it became 26. See, at the outset, let me appreciate the organizers of this event for identifying this area and pinpointing this particular topic, peace literature or peace studies, because this is need of the hour. And immediately when it comes to peace, what comes to our mind is war, peace, and something related to war. But it is not all about that. Peace within yourself, peace with your neighbors, peace with your family members, all are accountable when it comes to having peace. And this is a powerful quote. Mind your thoughts, or watch your thoughts, for they become words. Mind your words, for they become actions. Mind your actions, for they become habits. Mind your habits, for that becomes your character. Mind your character, for that defines your destiny. Yes, my dear friends, like how the same is applicable to peace. It starts in the mind and then it will plunge into action. When you have peace within yourself, it shows. When you have love within yourself, it shows. So, yeah, this is what I told you, war and peace. But it is not all about that. When you have peace, you should have peace within yourself. Recently, a day or before, somebody was sharing this to me. The most searched word in the internet in the year 2024 is nothing but brain rot. Brain rot. The word may be new to you, but if you give a strong guess, you can identify the meaning of the word. Brain rot is nothing but the intellectual decline that happens when you consume more online resource in the form of video or whatever it may be. Later, the side effect is that it can can cause sleeplessness, and it can spoil your inner peace. As a student, I remember I was successful in establishing peace with my friends and also with my teachers. I believe the same happened with you and is happening now. But there was one place where I couldn't maintain peace with my teacher. And I'm sorry to say that I did not have peace with my maths teacher during my school days. That's why I prefer to choose literature, because in literature what I found is that even if people suffer, they suffer in beautiful languages. So right from, and that's one of the reasons, right from my, immediately after the 10th, I skipped to science and then I shifted to English. So in search of peace, your life's journey, sometimes people prioritize money or peace. And there's a quote again, I'm not able to recall the exact quote, but the meaning of the quote goes like this. When you prioritize knowledge, people often prioritize money. These days, people are lured by money making. There is a Sanskrit saying, Vidya dadatu vinayam, vinayam dayanu patridam, patritva dhanavakti nodi, dhanadu dharmam tadadasuna. When you don't know the meaning of this, you will think as if I am narrating something out of the mind. It's very simple. To put it in other words, when you prioritize knowledge, acquiring knowledge as the topmost one, money and peace will naturally follow you. See, these are some of the pieces of literature which really inspired me when I think about peace. Man's search for meaning. And I recommend all, I believe some PG students are also here. Please go refer to this book. It's a small one and it's an autobiography written by Viktor E. Frankl, who went through the Holocaust and he survived it. He survived it only because he had peace within himself. And the second one that you have, the right side of the slide, is nothing but a movie. To some extent, it resembles this book, the story, the characters resemble what you have in this book. But again, how the parents were really happy. What is peace? What is peace, you will understand. And the absence of peace also you will understand when you watch this movie. I strongly recommend this book and this movie. Please make a note. Sometimes today you don't feel like doing that. Later you will search. And recently I was listening to another motivational speaker, one IPS officer named Alexander, who was telling that for youth to have a peaceful life, you should withstand the test that happens to you in 5 different ways. I know it's a women's college, but still, drugs, alcohol, smoking, speed. Speed means what? Speed thrills but kills, that kind of a speed. And the last one is premature love affair. So if you are able to withstand all these tests, all these challenges which is posed on you, you can have a peaceful life. There's a beautiful story. This is a real thing, not to embarrass you. I am part of a club, the Toastmasters Club. So last week we had a speech given by a doctor, a famous surgeon who is in his 70s. A famous surgeon. I will not reveal the name because at the end of the experience, he asked us to share the story but not his name. You will know why. Can I have it? This particular doctor, he went to a medical college in Madurai to pursue his studies. How many? It must be in the 50s, 1950s. Okay, 50s or 60s, between 50s and 60s. And at the first year, like how it happens to everyone, he was infatuated by another student there, and the name of that lady, I don't know if he was using the real name, Kavita, was another lady, okay, who was studying there in the same class. He had a crush, he had a desire to express his affair, and he was looking for the right opportunity. And he was telling that when they go to the lab to do this dissection and everything, twice, thrice he attempted, he mustered some courage. Okay, it's not like these days. Those days you should really dare to do something like that. And one day during, and he could even recall the year. After the Independence Day celebration, when everybody, and this lady is the topper in the class. He expressed, Kavi, I love you. That's what he told her. Immediately, without a second thought, you know what the lady replied? I did not expect this from you. 7 words. I did not expect this from you. And this man, he went back to the hostel. He was telling, as he was walking back, these 7 words were echoing in his head. I did not expect this. I did not expect this. That day he couldn't sleep because this was echoing in his mind. I did not expect this from you. And that day he introspected himself. He asked him, why did I come to college? Did I come to college to find a girl to marry? My parents can very well do it for me. And from then he decided he should study hard and achieve something. And today he is a surgeon. And the interesting part of the story is that now he is telling that he is using these 7 words to transform other people. He has an assistant. When he performs surgery, there will be an assistant, and whenever he extends his hand to the assistant will place the right, scissors or whatever it may be on his hand. And this man never does it in the wrong time. He places the right tool. Once accidentally he placed the wrong tool, for which the doctor looked at him, lowered the mask and told him politely, I did not expect this from you. Okay. And the doctor recalls, that was the last time the person did that mistake. Okay. So my dear friends, as youth, I'm telling you, if you really want somebody to be successful in your life, you can use these 7 words. What are those? I did not expect this from you. But in the academics, at any circumstance, don't expect your teachers to tell this to you. Tell these 7 words. What? I did not expect this from you. See, as individuals, it is our duty to contribute something to the world. Any individual for that matter. What we do for us goes with us. But what we do for others will stay the test of time. It's a beautiful quote. I shall pass through this world but once. If therefore there be any good things that I can do or kindness I can show, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. And like how I told the doctor who worked hard to achieve things, not only the doctor, if you want to if you keep on doing what you have done, you will get only what you have got. How many of you want to be successful in your life? Beautiful. Put your hands up. I thought I should ask this question again for you to raise the hand. Because, see, Stephen Covey in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, says that the first quality is to be proactive. When I ask you something, immediately you raise your hand, right? That's a good sign. That's called being proactive. So, any achievers for that matter, you cannot demean them by attributing this word called luck. The heights my great men reached and kept were not achieved overnight, for they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. See, literature, now coming back to our topic, literature's role in establishing peace within societies and communities. Authors are the messengers of peace, and they are designed in such a way that even during the most difficult times, they act in such a way that peace is being restored. The photograph that you see here is a Malayalam literature writer called Vaikam Muhammad Bashir. Some of his works are majority of his works are being translated into English. And the Manoanmani Chittamar University has included 2 of his works in the syllabus. I believe some of those will also be in your syllabus. The Walls, and the Fool's Paradise. The Walls in regional literature and Fool's Paradise in once, while he kept on writing on an evening, the author wanted to relax. He took a stroll. He walked away to a nearby town. His identity was not known to people. Okay, only the reader circle will be knowing, others, the common man will not know his identity. He walked, and by evening he reached a hotel, and he witnessed people having their lunch, and he too felt like having a dosa. He went, sat there, had a sumptuous meal, and finally when he was about to make his payment, he was searching his wallet. He understood that he has lost his wallet. As he was searching, the man, the owner of the shop, in a mocking tone asked him, "Oh, your purse must be missing, right? How many people I have seen?" Okay, that the owner of the shop was not ready to believe the author. Pathetic. He was standing there, and without any further delay, he added, "Remove your jubba and place it here on the table." Okay, he's an old man, you cannot extract work from him. So he told, "Remove your shirt and place it here." And the author felt embarrassed. He was looking, all the people who are having their meals there were looking. They were about to witness the scene. An old man being stood. An old man is about to be half naked in front of them. The author did it. Not satisfied with the act, the man again, "Okay, remove your pastry." Completely embarrassed, he was standing there. No help from people who were watching him. Not even one person told that, "Okay, how much is the money I will pay?" None of them, but all eyes were witnessing the entire scene. As he was about to do it, a help came from nowhere. A person who was shabbily dressed, with foul smell, not bathed properly, not even shaved, rushed to his rescue. "What are you doing to this old man? What are you doing to this old man? How much should he pay? This fellow is a beggar, a partially beggar fellow. How much should he pay? I will pay for him. I will pay for him." He paid, and he finally rescued the author, and they were having a conversation. And that beggar told the author, "See, when you come out, please be careful with regard to your belongings. There are so many smugglers and thieves here." For which the author did not reply. After some time, the beggar opened a bag and showed it to the author. The bag had so many purses and wallets inside. And then he asked the author, "Check if yours is there." The author said, "No," even after he saw his own purse there. He did not dare to say yes, because When it was an emergency, nobody came to his rescue, and finally the beggar man left. And the other was thinking, I should have asked his name. What is his name? Then he muttered to himself, what is in the name? Like how Shakespeare says in Romeo and Juliet, what is in the name that which we call a rose? By any other name would smell as sweet. What is in the name? His name can be peace. His name can be kindness. See, that is the nature of a writer. That's why I claim that authors are the ones who are responsible to restore peace in the society. See, the Nobel Prize winner for the year 2024, Han Kang, for her poetical works, and the Swedish Academy awarded her, and she's a Korean writer. And at least some of you, if not you, at least teachers, some of you might have read The Vegetarian by Han Kang, which was translated in the year 2016, if I'm right, and it won the Booker Prize. And if you read that, you will understand the Young Hai, the protagonist. All of a sudden, she decides to quit non-veg and she wanted to stick to vegetarian diet. And there are so many symbols in the novel which will tell you that the novel is all about peacemaking. And the parents are not happy. There is one situation where even her own father compels her to eat meat. And later there are so many chapters which will add to the Mongolian mark, the paintings, and towards the end, she decides, she associates herself or she empathizes herself with a tree, and she stops eating food and she tells that she is going to survive on photosynthesis, on sunlight, and like a tree she will be standing outside. All are symbolic representation, and it's a beautiful work, and I recommend that you people read this. See, as humans, we have become anthropocentric. Whenever we discuss about earth, peace, we place ourselves at the center of the universe. We don't think about others. We don't think about other living things. And sorry to say this, certain religious perspectives also supports this claim to some extent. We have become anthropocentric. We think that we are doing something good to nature, but we are not. We are doing the opposite. How many of you remember this? Because an year back, an elephant called Arikomban was transported from Kerala because it was highly notorious, and it was left in the forest of Kanyakumari district. And we claim as if we have done something very great. Because today's media is representing things. When you have heavy rains, this is how the media will represent it. Normal life disturbed due to heavy rains. There are so many good things that happens because of rain. For other living things, for other living beings, for the trees. But how do the newspaper interpret? Pointing, that's because we are anthropocentric. Normal life disturbed due to heavy rain. And later, this Arikomban elephant was left in Kanyakumari district, and we leave it alone. No, there was a tracking device around its neck. Every movement was tracked. It is eating, it is sleeping, it is drinking water, it is bathing. And we say that we do that because we are protecting nature. You don't interfere. Nature knows how to adjust itself and climb. And probably I believe ma'am would have briefed you enough on GDP and GNH. How did this concept for GDP, especially after the Second World War, the success of any country for that matter, will be evaluated only in terms of GDP, gross domestic product. The profit a country is able to make in terms of trade production and trade. You cannot attribute greatness to a country because it advocates peace, because there are good people. No. The yardstick has become how much you produce. As a result, it has narrowed down to individuals too. It has given you the license or liberty to plunder nature, to break mountains, to cut trees, to amass wealth. And when you make money, the society sees you as a successful person. But there is only one country which is not for that, which is for GNH. There is none but Bhutan. No wonder the only country which has reverse carbon emission with 73% cover of forest. Am I right? And so money, don't think that if you make money, you see, if making money will make you happy and give you a successful life. There are so many people who are really wealthy. They were hospitalized and they couldn't save their life with all the wealth and money they had. And as humans, we act like parasites. So that you can establish peace and live happily. Like how Mahatma Gandhi told, earth has all resources to satisfy every man's need, but not greed. And we, without our knowledge, we are victims of overproduction and overconsumption. And these days, anything for that matter, instantly you can click and the product will be at your doorstep. There were times for your forefathers, some of the things that you overlook were luxury commodities to them. When you have another chapel, one for Sunday, Monday, another for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you should think once upon a time. See, when I wear a leather shoe, I am very much conscious that I should use it to the maximum. I use it for 3 to 4 or 5 years because I know that each time when I buy more and more from the market, some animal is being killed and the leather is being stripped to make that shoe. And this is not the only one. In your day-to-day life, you can see parents don't have enough time to spend with kids. So what I do is that when they come back to home, they buy packets of biscuits or eatables. Only 1 or 2 will be consumed. And later, when the crispiness of the biscuit is being lost, people don't feel like eating, and then it is being dumped in the waste. Over consumption. See, when it comes to peace, history has proved that always the invader is less civilized than less cultured. But we look down upon us and we copy some of the habits of the invaders, starting from the food habits or dressing sense or whatever it be. And the best example would be Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. As literature students, you must be, I don't know if it is there in your syllabus, when we did our PG, we had, there's a character called Coots, which will be glorified throughout. And finally, at the end, when Coots is being portrayed, you will know who is civilized and who is not civilized. And again, the White Man's Burden by Rudyard Kipling, which says that it is the burden of the white to civilize the blacks. And it's a paradox. Peacekeeping force. Can peace be obtained through force? Even as a country that advocates peace, we did it once. If I'm right, it must be in the year 1987. India sent a peacekeeping force
Sri Lanka.
to Sri Lanka, and it continued for some years. And later, what happened is history. You all know. Okay. Even this day, there is no peace in Lanka. Yeah. See, all wars are the result of man's weakness as a thinking animal. We claim that we have the ability to think and decide. Then why do we have wars? Why do we have wars? And all religion advocates peace, but we don't interpret it properly. See, in the great epic Ramayana, there is a beautiful story. There's a beautiful story which you will really like, and which you can really apply to your daily life. See, the incident goes like this. And in Ramayana, to avoid a war and conflict, when there is a division, the character Rama and Sita left the kingdom and went to the forest. And finally, Ravana was killed, and Hanuman, the monkey god, came there to rescue Sita and gives the message to Sita telling that, see, Ravana is being killed, now you are free, I will take you. But there are gods around there. And Hanuman says, if you permit me, I will kill all these gods and I will take you. Immediately, Sita stops him and narrates a story. The story goes like this. See, once a hunter was chased by a tiger. Sometimes it happens the other way also, right? A hunter was chased by the tiger. And the hunter was running for his life, and he took asylum in a tree. He stayed in a tree. And that tree was the habitat of a bear. The bear owned that tree. It was the home of a bear. As soon as the man climbed, the tiger spoke to the bear, push him down. I want to have my meal, push him down, I'm hungry. You know what the bear told? The bear told, Aditi Devo Bhava, he is my guest today, and it is my duty to protect my guest. I cannot harm my guest, so let him stay here. After some time, the bear took a nap. Now, the tiger tried his luck with the man, telling that, see, anyway I am hungry. Either it's you or the bear. I have to eat and go back. Push the bear down. He's sleeping. Without a second thought, the man shook the tree. The bear came down. Before reaching the ground, it clinged to a branch and it got alerted. Now the tiger again started speaking. It spoke to the bear. See, I asked you to push him first, right? What did you say? Aditi Devo Bhava. See what he has done to you. Now, at least now react. Push the man down. My dear friends, you know what it told? Just because somebody else's character or quality is like that, I cannot change my originality. And this is a beautiful story with regard to peer pressure. Just because some of your friends are recommending you to do that, do this, they are doing some nonsense which is not going to bring you peace in the long run. You are not supposed to do that. You are not supposed to. And why did Sita narrate this story? Just because somebody is inflicting violence, destroying peace, I cannot do that. That is not my way. And even the Bible says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. And Bible is the only, I believe, scripture which advocates love thy
Neighbor.
not friend, enemy. And again the famous satirist in literature, Jonathan Swift, says that we have just enough religion to make us hate, but not enough to make us love one another. And I told you earlier, peace is not just the absence of war, it is much more than that. But during times of war, you will know the value of peace. If you read these two books by Khalid Hosseini, who is a Afghan American writer, and the Kite Runner, the protagonist, two boys, Amir and Hassan, how they became victim of child abuse, and see he has written in such a way that the raw footage of what happens in a land which is torn apart during war and aftermath of war. Sometimes you forget the names of the characters, but the impact these will create on you will give you the real essence of the war and its aftermath. And again, the Thousand Splendid Suns, that depicts how women suffer during times of war, and especially the one particular character, I don't recall the name of the character. She was in love with a guy, and finally, thinking that the boy has died, she marries an old man, and they beget children. And later, when the hero comes back, what happens and how things end? It's pathetic. It's really pathetic. If you really want to do a research on war literature, these are the books that I recommend. Now, as I told you, peace is more than absence of violence. Now today we have cyber violence, because there is no official body which can monitor or censor the content that is being delivered to you. See, sometimes when you are part of an online group, WhatsApp group, what comes there, it can be violence. You cannot stop that. The video will be downloaded and will be in your gallery. You will happen to watch it. There is no censor board to stop it. And violence in online games, you might have seen I don't know, women very rarely, but boys, especially school boys, college boys, and sometimes even when I go to the ground, I see people who come there not for doing physical activity, they come with their mobile phones and they play games. And I'll tell you one interesting thing which happened to me. Once, I was in a relative's home, and some cousins, they were playing online games, and one was US and the other some other country. Because of the online platform, they can connect, and the game is full of shooting, firing, moving here and there, firing, killing, lot of killing. And the phrases these people were using while they were playing games, they were referring to the names of their cousins, and they were telling, he is amputated, the name, reference to the name. The grandma of the home, she was listening to this from the kitchen, and she opened the door. See, what are you telling? What are you telling? See, because they were referring to the names of their cousin, and they were telling that he is amputated, he is dead. Please come, you see. So you will have when I saw this incident, there was a sharp contrast between the generations, how the previous generation takes it and how it is done the present generation. And regional movies. How many of you saw this movie? Sivakarthikeyan movie, which got released very recently. Amaran. Yeah, regional movies. How many of you saw this movie? See, the concluding scene will tell you what is the effect of war. The last frame, there are two instances which I was sharply noticing. The very first instance is in the airport, the father will be asking his son, why this particular issue, Kashmir issue, keeps on going? Is there nobody to negotiate? And the son says, and the last frame, where the daughter will be asking the mother, when will the father come back for vacation? And finally, and for that question, the mother or the heroine of the movie will be looking at the camera, which means looking at the audience. And the message is conveyed. The result of war is broken widows and orphans. It's a beautiful movie. And again, violence in regional movies, see, in the 90s, 80s and 90s, if you watch a movie, whatever it means, finally there will be forgiveness, reunion and things. There is peace. Peace is being restored. But today it is really pathetic. In one of the Tamil movies, I remember, I don't want to recall the name because we know that in Tamil Nadu we have a strong base for all heroes, fan base. So, the hero of the movie, and in 80s and 90s it's not like that. The hero of the movie is using a statement, a punch dialogue, stating that Nama Valanna, Yara Verna, Yeda Verna, you can destroy. Nama Valanna. Okay. And there is this dialogue doesn't come from the mouth of a villain. The hero himself is uttering this dialogue. To that extent, we have started using violence. But there are also movies. There are also movies where at the end the value of education is being highlighted by the father to the son. That is also there. And in television serials also, you can see violence in the form of through comedy, bullying other people, or sexual violence, sadistic violence, and things like that. Yeah. So, informing my decision and respecting others brings peace, brings real peace. You have to accept others of their shortcomings. There will be shortcomings. No person is complete. And every citizen believes that, say, for another country may be a villain to you, another country's soldier may be a villain to you. But you should, as you should think that every citizen believes that his country is the best, his language is the best, because most of the time the peace is being tampered because which language is best? Language speaking, or maybe religion which is the best, or every people who follow that particular religion or use that particular language or lives in that land, for him his language is the best. You have to understand that. Yeah, and see, 75 years after independence, we still produce literature reminding the readers, right from see the Kushwan Singh straight to Pakistan and Ahmedabad to Shadowlands, everything. There are more literatures. Even now, there is so many literature which speaks about. And I think at some point we have to, it's time to forget about that and focus on the future for a peaceful future. We need not produce literature to remind the sad things that has happened in the past because we have enough. Yeah, so the concept of peace was introduced to literature by the Norwegian peace researcher Johan Galtung. And he coined almost 400 different theories of peace. We cannot recall all the 400 here. So, one beautiful concept which he expressed. What are the things that should not be there negative? Like under negative, he has placed absence of war. So, absence of war will not bring you peace. The positive side, there should be presence of conflict resolution. There should not be weapons. There should be absence of weapons, but there should be presence of justice. Justice, in our country, the present scenario, justice delayed, justice denied. Absence of conflict, and there should be presence of integration. And this particular person, Johan Galtung, who is considered as the pioneer of peace literature, he made a statement in quotes. If there is a rule in peace building, nobody has said it better than Jawaharlal Nehru. In his Panchashila 1954, it's a treaty. 1954 treaty between India and China after the war that happened between India and China. So what impressed Johan Galtung is the statement written by Jawaharlal Nehru: cooperation for mutual and equal benefit. Cooperation for mutual and equal benefit. See, sometimes what happens is that the Western countries, when they go for a peace agreement, they take the upper hand, where there will be cooperation, but no equal benefit. No equal benefit. They will be having some extras to take. They will be having some, maybe you know all the politics behind the sales of weapon and other things. So, coming back to our Tamil literature, Avvaiyar restored peace by stopping a war between King Adiyaman and Thondaiman. Adiyaman, you know, in schools you might have learned, is the king who was very much related, close with Avvaiyar, to an extent that he gifted the gooseberry, which was believed to give longevity. Without consuming it, he gave it to Avvaiyar. And once there was like a cloud mounting between King Adiyaman and Thondaiman, which might have led to a war. But do you know what Avvaiyar did? Avvaiyar made a visit to King Thondaiman's palace, and Thondaiman took Avvaiyar to show a display of his weapons. All weapons were really new, fresh, new stock. It was the garland and it was good for puja and everything. After witnessing everything, Avvaiyar understood that he is ready for the war. He has all very sophisticated weapons in his armory. So she wanted to stop him, but you know what she told? She told Thondaiman, see, your weapons are fresh and new. But Adiyaman, his weapons are not at all in his armory. Most of his weapons are having red stains. Most of his weapons are broken, and it is with the blacksmith. It always lies there. And by doing that, she presented an impression to the other king. That fellow is good at war. He does it. He is an expert. If you go and wage a war, you may not win. Because he is an expert. Okay. And finally, the war was put to a halt. That's all. For now, I believe you enjoyed the short presentation. And if you have something, you can ask me. You're very happy that you can leave home.
I have a question. Speak right without
Yes,
the
yes.
mic also.
It was a good presentation, sir. Thank you. And I have a small point, like I want to discuss about not remembering the horrors of the past. You know, you are saying we need to move on. Though that is very true, lest we forget. You know, sometimes history can repeat itself if we don't remember it. The lessons of history should be known to these children. We were talking about Indian peacekeeping force. How many of them know about the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi? It was like losing our own family member. We all in our age, we cried and all that. They won't even know who's Rajiv. You know, and they won't know peacekeeping force. So, though it is good to move on, it is also good to remember the horrors of Second World War, the horrors of war, the horrors of partition. Sometimes we need to know so that we don't repeat. Is something I believe. I'd like to know your take on it.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a good question. And see, for this is what I have to say. I also agree with the fact that only if you study the past, you can define the future. You should learn the past. But as educated masses, when we interpret this, you give your interpretation. But imagine a layman's perspective. And most of the incidents, if you take a look back, the killing of a journalist in Bangalore. Okay, you know what happened? What is her name? Some 6 years back. Gauri Ramesh. So whatever it means, the man who assassinated her doesn't know why he did it. So when from from an education, as educated people, we think we should know the past. But when it reaches the layman, the interpretation is different. Like the sense of some movies are being burned.
They might impulsively act.
Impulsively, and they don't know why they are doing it. That is
Maybe
the
then-
perspective that I have to justify that.
Peace education should start from school times
From school,
so that they will
within
grow up
families,
within families.
that is missing. I have seen, not seen the present generation, especially to this people, this is what I have to say. Things have changed. Things have changed. When there is an issue in colleges and when the parent is being summoned, without listening to what the teacher has to say, the parents openly safeguard their kids, which is not actually good.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your erudite and thoughtful address. We will wait for certificate distribution ceremony. We will wait.
ரிலே ஸ்டாப் த ரிலே பாஸ் பண்ணாது அப்படியா டசன்ட் பாஸ்